The original Battenburg stripes were taken off this van in 2019 by Brightwells and their decommissioning vandals. I think they use heat guns, or maybe they just rip them off, but you can see the damage they've done to the paint on the door here, and this is what was underneath the Battenbergs that I've just been removing from this side. So I've got them cleaned off from this side, and I've taken off all the branding and cleaned up all the leftover glue residue from the previous graphics on the side of the van, and it's come up okay. I was a bit curious about how this plastic material would behave, but it's come off. But it is a shame I got some damage. I'll have to find a suitable sticker for the door, and I'm about to do the other side. Steam stripper is my preferred tool of choice. It's far more gentle than using a heat gun in my view. So this is the stuff I'm dealing with today. This is a self-adhesive tape, probably off of eBay or somewhere. It's not good quality stuff. It's a clear plastic film over a metallic surface and a glue, and it just disintegrates. It's not anything like as good as the prismatic stuff that's used by the ambulance service, which with the steam stripper comes off beautifully in one piece. This delaminates and falls apart, and I shall be having a go at it as soon as the steam stripper's warmed up. And it was -3 last night, but obviously when you're using heat it doesn't really matter when you take stuff off. This is how this stuff comes off. You can either get it off in ragged sections with most of the foil and glue attached, or it just gives up and comes away in one piece like that, or pieces like that. It's very brittle. I'm just using a straightforward tool. This is out of my kit of tools for removing panels and clips in vehicles, but it's a suitable wedge-shaped scraper which won't cause excess damage, because I'm using quite a lot of force. And in, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, I've taken half of it off already. You can see this, how it ends up in this ragged format, and you end up with quite a lot. You know, even though I'm scraping along with the steam stripper, you end up with lots of debris. But that, surprisingly, is actually quite easy to get rid of. The metal door there was much harder to get it off there, because it's got much better adhesion than it has to this rippled surface. Right, let's just get that last piece off, and then I'll show you how I clean it up. This particular pattern is referred to as Sillitoe Tartan. I call it Battenburg, but obviously that's the larger stripes and squares that you see on in service ambulances. But Sillitoe Tartan, you see it around the hats of police officers and stuff, and some police cars up in Scotland I think still use it, but mostly the Battenburg design is widely adopted. Next tool of choice, a paintbrush and white spirits. Fortunately this adhesive does dissolve with white spirits. The white spirits, unlike petrol, some people use petrol just evaporates too fast, you're just wasting it. And to actually get the vast majority of the remainder off, this is a standard Draper paint scraper. It's got a Stanley knife blade in it, and when held flat onto the side of the van, the angle is just right to take off the vast majority of the residue glue and bits of the remaining paint or coloured material, whatever you want to call it. You can see there's some paint loss there, and that's come off there. I may have done that myself, I don't know. Probably where the original Battenbergs were. The adhesive on those is pretty impressive stuff, but if you look at the method I showed in the video, I'll link above in the description, you can actually use the Battenburg prismatic material to your advantage, because it will actually take its own glue off. This white spirits needs about 5 minutes just to sort of soak in and soften up the glue, and then I said a lot of it will then come off just with the scraper. And there you go. You can see great big chunks of the adhesive starting to come away, and with it many of the smaller parts of the remaining plastic. And as long as that blade is held flush, the angle, it's not going to dig into the paint, although you can hear it cutting into the plastic. And it's just a slow and steady job. There's quite a bit of damage on this, unfortunately. I'm just removing most of the glue remnants and then clean it all up with white spirit. Where's the bucket gone? There we go, job done. Bit of polishing just to take off anything else, but that'll do for the day. It's starting to get cold now, and that's certainly an improvement. Didn't like those stripes, they looked silly basically. We haven't decided yet whether to keep this wreath type emblem. We'll get rid of the wording, but we might keep that wreath. Bit of history there. Anyway, job done. Thanks for watching.